Hi, my name is Tawanda from Deep Learning Cafe, and today I'm going to be showing you something called the COVID-19 Research Explorer. Now, basically, what we've done here is that Kaggle released 50,000 research papers related to coronavirus and other related topics, and they put out a challenge to see if people can find interesting ways to search through this data set of papers, of research papers, and get back the most meaningful insights. So what we've gone and done is that we took this data set of 50,000 papers, we extracted their abstracts, and then we ran them through a natural language processing step that basically extracted all the entities that are contained within the abstract. What we then did is we took the abstracts along with all its entities and we put them into a Neo4j graph database in the backend. So the point of putting it in a graph database is that we felt as though that with our data stored in a graph, there would be much more interesting ways to search through it, and we can get back a more visual result on our searches. So just to take you through the Explorer that we have here, we have a search bar where you can conduct like natural language searches through the database, and I'll show you that in a moment. We have the actual graph that's appearing at the bottom here. If I just zoom in a little bit, you can see that this is the graph, and what you're seeing here is that the diamonds represent papers and the green dots represent entities mentioned within the paper. Then at the top here we have a graph layout where you can click there. So I can pick different layouts for my graph, and I just like using breadth first because it's just it lays out the data in a very nice and easy to understand way, where papers are at top and the entities are at the bottom. And then now what happens is that if I click on any one of these papers, I can actually see all the information related to them. So like say for this one, I just click this one over here, I can see the date it was published, I can see the title of the paper, and I can see the authors as well as the URL. Now if I follow the link, it takes me directly to the actual research paper, in case I want to read the full document and not just the abstract. And there we go. So now this is the actual research paper with all its authors, as well as the actual abstract or the actual paper and all its details at the bottom. Great. So if I go back here and now I want to conduct a simple search, let's say I look for okay, there we go, some suggestions here, the rate of infection in China, and I search for that, and there we go. So I got some results back. I can see these are each one of the abstracts or the papers that were pulled back from the graph database and their relations to certain nodes. So you can see that this one in particular, called the fractal kinetics of COVID-19 pandemic, they mention China and infection this, and you can see all the details for the paper on the side here, as well as the link which I can follow once again. So just to show you this again, let's just try looking for something else, maybe something that's not suggested. Let's say I look for the effect, okay, of coronavirus among children. There we go. So now if I search that, and there we go, I get one paper back, lucky enough, that mentions children and coronavirus. So chances are if I click into this paper and I follow the link, I'll be able to get the information that I'm looking for, because it's talking about the molecular epidemiology of respiratory viruses among Malaysian young children with a confirmed respiratory infection during 2014 and 2015. So let's just do one more search. Let's look at something like the spread of coronavirus in Africa. And there we go. So now I get more results back. Again, we got two papers back this time, and each one talks about something to do with Africa. Okay, so you can see it mentions Africa within the abstract as well as the coronavirus. So that's why this result was pulled back. And basically if I click there, I can see all the details now. So this paper talks about the preparedness and vulnerability of African countries against introductions of COVID-19. So basically what we've done here is the first step towards what we think is a very powerful search tool when it comes to searching through any type of information, really. We've just used the example of the COVID-19 research papers, but this could be applied to any type of documentation, and really not just documentation, videos, and audio or text or whatever you can think of. The whole point is that as long as you can extract entities from whatever data source, you can then build up this graph and then you can search through it. And right now we're conducting very simple search queries that just looks to see if a certain entity is mentioned within the paper. However, you can make these relationships very complex, and this would allow you to conduct very interesting and powerful queries on your database. So this is our first version. We will be making improvements, and basically what we'd like from you is that if you can think of a use case for something like this, or if you can think of other improvements that you'd like to see, let us know, and we'd really like to hear back from you. And yeah, thanks for listening.